historical background context, particularly like around why we had the special select committee. So basically, in July 2017, the borough government established what we had called the Jane Commission. And then that Jane Commission submitted 1,200 pages report to the president and cabinet in March 2019. So during that Jane Commission, I believe they were meant to be 3 months or 6 months, but new extenco. So then I guess it was established in July 2017, but their work continued until March 2019. That's when they submitted their report. And report B, we all knew that it was about 1,200 pages, and I believe it was 9 volumes. And then what the government did with that is the government published an own white paper in September 2019. So that was the historical context around how the Jane Commission was set up, when it was set up, and when they submitted their report to cabinet. And then the cabinet come up with a white paper, which was published in September 2019. Now, we had some issues and concerns around the Jane Commission. While Balama continued in the proper program, Dina may brother Ben Munyo Dugasi Nuyu, and if he has anything to add into the summary bungahamne lal nasi around the historical context of Jane Commission. Brother Ben. Man ne kuma lela dega family sa mic bangi mute.
Sorry, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brother Bakary, for inviting me. Si program am solo bi. Sa introduction is quite right. Luma subuga yoka rek moine. After the white paper, the government disregarded all the recommendations. People knew how they were sanctioned. They were still left. Whilst the investigations were going, in fact, people adversely mentioned, like the chief, the former finance minister Mambu Njai, like people like Alaji Sise. And they were still in government.
Yeah.
And recommendations see Bumnyewe, white paper, the government disallowed to enforce it and give excuses for them. At the likes of Tariq Musa, government will put aside all those recommendations and engage them. Nyom Hadim Guy, almost every other person adversely mentioned, then could put aside. One of the ones they adopted, more one the now Naka Sabali,
Special advisor to the president.
Modu Sabali, reclaim if you know, and Lulu Tam Gistan later on disregard Nenko, and they are engaged in him. And again, the one in Nyom Joguba and almost everybody. Lolu Lafa further indicate the government have never taken this inquiry seriously. It was just a formality. And in fact, the continued allegations against the government is very valid. Valid based on the way and manner they dealt with it. From the way they constituted the commissions and everything. It was based on Bartambedu bringing his friends and family to benefit from constituting this commission. And after the again, I think we can just put that now. Is something we are going to emphasize on. Entire assets and assets of Jammeh, in fact, within the country, were not listed towards the Jammeh Commission. They created 2 to 3 tier system. Some are listed on the Jammeh Commission, others were not listed on the Jammeh Commission, and some might have even been allocated to others or given to other people before the commissions conclude. Now, Gambians should ask themselves, why would a government create a commission haphazardly, where you talk about investigating the assets of, corruption, economic crimes, but you choose to look at certain, items and disregard the other items? That one already from the beginning, the premise of it is a fraudulent process. Now moo tax suñ demee through the process di nga gis ne ñu ngi laa
Yeah.
ne wax ne okay, this thing was decided at ministerial level at yooyu. That's all one improper way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
If you open up a commission investigation, everything should be left with the investigation. Ambiguity water
Yeah.
and distrust warrant call for foster, and any allegations that is brought up at the time should have been dealt with competently.
Yeah.
Like the allegations you have the secretary
Alani Kurang.
Alaj Kurang definitely should have been dealt with regardless who is against, should have been dealt with competently. But slowly more in the clouds we have now.
Yeah.
And again, then raise to Gambians. When the reason they constituted this because they have believed the former president, the dictator, have squandered a lot of wealth that's owned to the Gambian people.
Yeah.
Or in fact, he have gained a lot of wealth by using the state, to acquire all this. Now, in any country, this thing happens. The scope of the investigation should not be domestic.
Yeah.
Should be international as well. But until today, the Gambia government have never shown any energy or proof of anything they have gone after those assets or wealth that are in other countries on continents. Until then, everything is compromised.
Yeah.
The one property probably Gambians might think the Gambian government did something where the Potomac.
Yeah.
Potomac was not engineered by Gambia government. It was solely unilaterally decision taken by the American government, Treasury.
Yeah.
And they did the recovery.
And
to know Jammeh have been involved in a lot of stuff by using the state.
Yeah.
And we can qualify that into $1 billion or even more than $1 billion. And Amadou Samba was known to be involved financially with Jammeh, and all these people would have been held responsible, and that wealth could have transformed a lot of stuff in the Gambia.
Definitely.
Now, in discussion with today, this is why it's very important. I'm glad that you took the initiative to bring it up, because Gambia, every minute there's something happening, and this government rely on it. Gambians have a short span of concentration that they move to something else. But I keep on telling Gambians that accountability is about keeping it in records.
Yeah.
This government might fail to deal with it, but another government will come and deal with it.
Yeah.
And the other thing about accountability, it's not only you're worried about the failure of the government enforcing or taking action, but it's about informing the citizens. And it's the citizen that makes the government to respect the rule of law and respect good governance. And you have done that in the introduction, there's a reason then this thing will move to parliamentary committees. It's because of the accountability the young Gambians took, Gala took, and put pressure on the government for the government to open it. That's how where I want to stop for now.
Yeah. Thank you, Brother Ben. Did not try to just say on much as possible see Wolof, because people are encouraging us to speak as many as possible in Wolof, so that everybody watching can see themselves in that. Actually, just to qualify with some of the things that you said, totally share completely lingawa, because society domestically, that's where this whole government focus their efforts. Why so by hell, like even some of these accounts you done were in Panama. Government has not pursued those things. Assets in Jamaica, people we have been talking about them in countries like Senegal or Morocco. Nobody has talked about them. And so said the international wealth would have generated more money for the Gambian taxpayers than the domestic one. And the talking of in a very important topic as well. And because of the issues in the Amnesty Commission, up to an extent, even being submitted a report, people haven't seen the list of buyers of those assets, like either in terms of the vehicles, the cars, the properties, and all that. And I remember vividly there was a question table in the National Assembly. Munuma Fatiluku Bannang was it? But the now Justice Minister was asked the question whether they can share this list to the National Assembly. And I remember he said, no, they cannot share that list because that would compromise the integrity or dina violate the privacy of those buyers. And I think people like you, people like me, were very angry and upset about that because if you are buying, so neke yange jenda alel bo hamne alel nguur la, because nowadays we cannot even say they are Jammeh property. That has been forfeited to the state. These are assets belonging to the states and the Gambian people. So obviously, anybody who buys those assets, caucus should be known to the public. And the reason why we want to know those buyers is to make sure is the right people that should be buying those assets, new gender assets, is it? It's not people connected to this government, or it's not people who were connected to the process that was in place to dispose those assets. And when the minister definitely, excuse me, balalemade, amanda sungai nyoma yobu sen nyako mangesa. So when Minister B failed to disclose that list, in fact, we have to give credit to Alaji Mamadi Kuram because since Boom Ame that issue with the commission and his unfortunate dismissal, he's been drumming these drums. And then a good brother of us, Mustafa K. Dabo, Mustateko from Malagan, and then it continues to Republican. So Momo Mujena published that article, sir, to leak some of those lists. And Lolo Mo Waral, hey, in fact, we've got this parliamentary select committee because Gambian youths, by the name of Gambians Against Looted Assets, Moe Gala, they came out. I just want to make sure I've got this right because Mangi Jelon did see it. So on Thursday, the 8th of May 2025, Moe Adbini, Gala organized a protest. And this protest, they went to the police, you request a permit, and they said, Sulayman police join a permit or join the permit. This is their constitutional right. Dinañ génn pour protest. And obviously, police join leen permit pour you protest. And then on that fateful morning, ñun ñëpp gis nañ lu happen when these young youths were gathering, trying to go and hand over their petition. 27 of them were abruptly arrested by the police and they were detained. And lolu neka indi chobu rey si bir deka bi because the following day tamit or the days that follows, we've seen a bigger protest being hamne to show solidarity about those 27 that were arrested, the likes of Kurang, the likes of Gala, the likes of Kex, Bob Bob Keta, and you bari, about 27 of them. So then this make the government to react. And in that reaction, the president, because Nyomsen protest, they've given demands, they want the list to be published. And they want the president to address the nation, and they want this to be investigated. Now, gis nañ president bi mu ñëw génna address the nation about it. Mu ne parliament would set up a committee to look into that. And tamit before Lolo, I believe it was the justice minister or someone within the government released on the Benin list. So Lolo rek, it was also evidence that when Gambians stand up to demand for transparency and accountability, nguur bi dañ dee déglu, they react. So I would say kudos to those Gala people that went out because they've made this government react. And that has been the reason Mota on the 14th of May, which is I believe 6 or 7 days after Lolo Nonu, Bilali Tunkara, who is the majority member for the National Assembly, mu table a motion, and that motion was to establish this National Assembly Special Select Committee to look into the sales and disposals of Jammeh assets through the Jammeh Commission. So that commission has been established since the 14th of May. Initially, but then they've run out of time, or they thought that they knew that they were going to run out of time. Ñu delluwaat si assembly bi requested for more time, ñu extend leen. And then I believe it was Wednesday this week, la gaay jekkali seen last live testimony si. And now, from what I understand, is by the 15th of December, latest, they have to table to the National Assembly preliminary pour one send report, what evidence they find, what recommendations, and what actions needs to be taken. Now, Luma Bugon, you focus rec on broader, like I've given you the context of where we are now. Nakanga gise one because I want Dama Bugon you discuss about that motion, how it came about, Secondly, tamit the composition of that committee, comme members yi mun nañ leen a discuss because we know all those members, ak tamit the secretariat and also the lead the council that was established within that. So naka nga gisee woon the whole process and the committee ak how they did their job?
Thank you very much, Bakary, for that elaborated explanation. It is very important for people to remember what have transpired. Two things Labuga add before we get to there. It's about the victims of Jammeh, that we're expecting compensation, reparation, and the most effective reparation is the proceeds from confiscated assets have been compensated to to the victims of Jammeh. The compensation or reparation payments should be timely. We have so many victims have died since then, when the commission was concluded and when revenue was realized, and no substantial, or let's say even no contribution came from Jammeh assets to the public, to the victims, which I'll elaborate later. Understand? And so many victims are still suffering that need medical attention, but that need even to to elevate their suffering of the standard of living. And let's just not forget the most vulnerable, who were the young people. Nekon April 10, 11. And some of them you get handicapped right now. They
Yeah.
need constant care. They're going on constant pain. Lodiyepte is not being addressed. Understand? And these young people, because of what happened to them or what was done to them, send education Muninko complete, or they could not obtain the capacity they need to have a survival. And the old people, they were victims of Jammeh. Most probably they don't have much life to live.
Yeah.
Then what we need? We emphasize this government, they never cared about what the commission should have done, but it was all for themselves.
Yeah.
And again, why did I emphasize to say that the government have not been paid nothing? The 50 million they talk about, that was the 50 million given by the Senegalese government. This is not the 50 million that came from Jammeh assets. They lie about that because of Batambi deliberately used the equivalent of 50 million that was given by Senegal to say that they gave it to the victims. But where is the 50 million given by the Senegalese? Then we can say that the 50 million given to the Senegalese were given to the victims, but they took 50 million. They took 50 million from the proceeds, and God knows where they put that 50 million.
Yeah.
And during the course of it, we realized how much was paid for people for doing no job or small little job. People like Alpha Barry became extra millions been paid for Alpha Barry, but the victims still did not get a copper out of it.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the the committee, I am saying my opinion. Whether you agree or not, other people will agree.
Yeah.
For the majority leader to table this, it's all way of getting the government out of it. The competency of the committee, I am not saying individuals within the committee are among integrity, or some of them among the qualities.
Yeah.
And in fact, I say here, I am really impressed by the lawyers for the work they have done.
I agree.
But we have to admit they don't have the capacity to have done this job. They have done their best. They don't have the experience to have deliberated this as much as they would have. And that would have, when they deal with most sophisticated witnesses, like Alpha Barry, like Batambedu, like Madame Bensouda.
Yeah.
You can see how kind of intimidated they were, or and lack of substance in certain areas was. But we have to congratulate them and say thank you for a honest job done with a lot of effort. And there are individuals with MPs that we know that they have stood up, have they done their best.
Yeah.
But let us not forget that the committee is not only the people we see on sitting before us.
Yeah.
The committee should have investigators.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you for certain, when we get to the deep of the program,
Mm-hmm.
they fail us.
Mm.
They fail the Gambian people.
Mm.
But money,
Mm-hmm.
the competency of the committee was lacking. The
Mm-hmm.
intention of the committee, constituted based on the majority leader,
Mm.
was meant as a smoke screen to manage the narrative and bring out a conclusion that favors the government not being held accountable.
Mm.
There might be few scapegoats that will be held accountable, but the entirety or the main actors, or the architects
Mm-hmm.
who are actually in very strategic position with the government will not be
Mm-hmm.
held accountable. Batambe will get away with murder.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha Bari will get away with murder. And how to call it? Ahmad Ba will get away with murder. Adam Barrow will get away with murder, and so many other actors. Even for Madam Bensouda,
Mm-hmm.
it's matter of ne. I think that if they had the competency,
Mm-hmm.
probably we could have found out more.
Mm-hmm.
And that too, we will elaborate that as we further go on to the testimony.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Before you know deep into the work that they've done, some of the issues that we've seen them, but always, I mean, man, I'm someone that I always like to give credit where credit is due, because I said the same concern. Man, I made a post when this motion was led. And I said, ne, the government, because so by hell, like since this government come into play, they always batter things to the National Assembly. When Sulayman pushes Ikonagire, then could they always push back. And now for me, the committee, I know all of them. And I've interacted with all of them. If you look at the guy that's been selected as the chair, who is Abdullah Sise, the name for Yundum, Old Yundum, or New Yundum, he's a MPP now. Then Nga said the vice chair, who is Honorable Madi Sise, he's UDP, with a journalist's background. Nga said someone like Swaibu Ture, who is the name for PDIS, he's been like a technocrat, or he's been a second parliamentarian. Nga am Honorable Sar is a APRC nam. Then am Honorable Jame, Omar Jato Jame, he's the independent nam. Then am Honorable Alajimbo, he's NRP, but we all know NRP and MPP is government.
Yes.
Nga am the nominated member, Keba Lang Fofana, he is also nominated by the president, and it's fair to news he's NPP. So you look at the composition of the committee, nyom seven like with the chair. Now with the chair and the other three, they are all part of the government.
Yeah.
Now Swaibu, ak Sar, ak Honorable Jame, those are the people at least they are from the opposition or they are independent.
Yes.
Man, my take on this, and he would forgive me, he's a good brother, we've become very close, Bumneke chairman Mini. I would have preferred the chairman of that committee to be from an independent guy or from the opposition party rather than from the government.
Yeah.
That would have given this government more weight on credibility and more weight. And secondly, man, I'm always also gender biased, maybe because I'm a dad to two girls. I mean, if you look at 7 men in that committee, no woman.
Yeah.
At least I believe the female and the likes of Tuma or the likes of even Fatmata Jawara or the MP for Bintang, whatever. We had about 4 or 5 female names there. So at least in that committee, I would have expected they would have a female name there. Yeah, at least 1 out of the 7. Now, Lingawa Degala, I mean, behind the scenes, we know that they have investigators. We cannot talk much about the investigators because we can only talk about the people that we know
What
and
we know
saw
that
on our screen.
transpired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would also echo the same words. Man, I'm a big fan of giving young Gambians the chance to sign. And the 2 lead councils that they've got there, which was Ajika and also Lawyer Lamin Diba, like you said, Purman, they did a brilliant job, best of their ability and their capability. But there was something significant lacking there. They are all young, hungry lawyers, but they're not as experienced as many lawyers that we would have said. But I believe they did very well in terms of what we've seen. Now, that's the committee aspect of it. And to be quite honest, during their live testimonies, we've seen sometimes tension, particularly like Honorable Jato Jame and the chair. And in fact,
Yeah.
there was a time that he walked out. And sometimes, again, we are not criticizing them completely. We're just giving honest feedback based on our assessment at Lungis. Sometimes when certain kind of witnesses comes to testify, you would see the partisans, they can easily harm who is who.
Yeah.
And that has been evident. Because, man, to be quite honest, since this work started, you know this, I've not been of a good health, and I've been following constantly. So I had the time to be following because some of them may drop the kids from school. I'm always having that 5-6 hours by month. So I've been following regularly. I
Yeah.
hardly miss the live testimonies. Like, I was there. They will see me all the time. So now, and one of the things also while this work was going, Sisuma Gistu, I think at the beginning they focused too much on procedures, like terms of reference and employment and other administrative issues. But so set as in motion be, and this is something that even Miss Bensuda has kind of really echoed on Bumnyowe. Their main job was to, anyway, Nenko simplified, to follow the money. Because ñun ñep xam nañ ne the funds generated from the sales and the proceeds was just over 1 billion. And before my fat at this point, sir, I completely agree. Imagine they raised 1 billion out of sales from assets forfeited from Jame. What they could have done is because ñoom government budget moy the victim center or to repatriate the victims, they need 200 to 300 million dollars pour repatriate the victims. Now, your faith victims because some of them they lose their family members, some of them has been scarred for life and all that. But you would have expect during the Jane Commission, when a $1 billion was raised and was deposited into government account, before Ngurgi Jel Halis non spend in something else, the right thing to do was they should have taken care of the victims first.
Yes.
The funds were there.
Yeah.
And what you said about that 50 million is true. That 50 million came from Senegal. More during, that rosewood timber trading.
Yeah, proceeds from the rosewood. It was the one those confiscated at the port was sold for 100 million. And there's even corruption in that. And
exactly.
Half of it was paid to Senegal, and Senegal, awarded to the victims. And that would have even gone directly to the victims, not dealers or anything else. You're right.
Yeah. So that's how that 50 million came. So Purman, that's how it's been the composition. And throughout their work, I believe they dwell too much time on technicalities. And Lolu Waral Nasa, they have to go back again and ask for more time from the National Assembly, and they were guaranteed that. But so by hell into the latter days of the conclusions, they were rushing. And Purman, maybe very important things has been missed because of Jonions and Bopa time. They didn't plan their time frame very well, so that they would dwell or they would go after the important things.
Yeah.
And Purman Rebalama Nyowatio, one thing that really catch my eye, this was on Wednesday or Tuesday before Guy wrapped up. They had Hamad Ba, Honorable Hamad Ba, who is currently the Minister of Local Government and Lands, and he used to be the Minister for Tourism at the time. So by hell, most of these Jammeh assets, they were in the TDA. Man, I would have assumed that someone like Ahmad Bah should have been one of the first witnesses they called at the beginning, not towards the end. Because he was the minister at the time. There were a lot of assets within the TDA that were frozen by court orders, and those court orders were ignored, or there was a kabudu done to bypass those court orders. Man, I was disappointed. Someone like Ahmad Bah was one of the last witnesses. He should have been one of the first few to be core. And Purma Daniel si Ahmad Barek, then I'll hand over to you. When he came, man, I know Ahmad before he became a minister. We come from the same area. His friends in Sinchu Alaji is a neighbor to my cousin. Musuma dem Gambia agumasi kerbobuno. So nobody can tell me Uncle Ahmad more than I know him. He knows my family, I knows him. Hanane Sundewa, he's got a big volume, like he is loud, he is like that.
It's an act.
Yeah. But what I seen at the National Assembly that day, particularly Bumnyue, I was very disappointed. And I'm not gonna hide my disappointed, because someone who is a senior cabinet minister to come and act and speak in that manner, Silinga Hamde Yen Sengur Moko set up, it's just telling. And secondly, also, I had an issue with the committee that day, because when I was following this, the vice chair stepped up to become the chairperson, which was Honorable Madi Sise. And then Kumafa Gismoy Swaibu Ture, who is the PDIS now, and then Honorable Sar, who is the APRC now. And then I was questioning, I was like, Anna the actual chairman, if you got a state minister who is very senior to this government coming to the committee to testify, I would have expected that day the committee would be full house. Unless someone is sick or someone traveled. And from my findings that day, the only MP that traveled, who was a committee member, was Jato Jame. He was not in the country. And that makes me ask the question, why was the actual chair of the Special Select Committee not there? Why was Honorable Kebal Lamfofana was not there? Why was Alajimbo, who is a NAM to Ahmad Ba, was not there? Were they running away from Ahmad? Or what other more important issues they had? Yes, I know that they might say they were dealing with the budget, but their primary focus, they know they were running out of time, they know they need to wrap up. Their priority and their focus should have been that Special Select Committee. And Ahmad Nundon Wahe that day was just poor man, respectfully his elder. It was arrogant. He was very condescending to the three NAMs that were there. And he said something which I think he should have been Samson on, or he should have been cautioned on. And I have to give credit to the young lead counsel, lawyer Diba, when he pushed back. Because Ahmad said, so gise that Special Select Committee happened because of cabinet la.
That's the lie.
And if cabinet do not agree to that to happen, this is his words. They have the majority in parliament, they would have voted that motion and put it in the dustbin.
That's a lie. Then the people would have stayed in the streets.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the people. The credit goes to the people for making sure they do it. For all these years, they have not done it.
Exactly. And Purman, I felt like he should have been embracing of the process, but he was undermining the process, but trying to take credit. Because the motion was tabled by the majority leader, who is part of the government. So how can the majority leader table a motion and then you turn and then a majority before Funono? If you guys want it, you would have put it in the dustbin. That just tells either he's not being honest or he's just been condescending. I didn't buy the Duge Funono, bro.
Bro, this Mola one, like just to touch on that. The committee is something they prefer. You understand? And someone have made that comment. The government, if they're serious, they should have employed a forensic accountants to do the job. So again, the lack of capacity of the committee. This is to do with corporate finance. And even the lawyers sitting there, they are not corporate lawyers. They don't have the experience of corporate finance. That's why they cannot hold Madam Bensouda. They struggle with Batambedu. They struggle with Alpha Bari and with the other professional how to call it, witnesses. And if it was a forensic accountant, they got to the ground of it. All the bias and every penny of it, or anything involved, would have been done and accounted for, and that's a professional way of presenting it. With the committee, As we said, even with the good intentions of the lawyers and some individuals, with their good intentions, the capacity wasn't there. And we know the government did not want accountability to ensure. That's why the investigation was not done right. Now, why do we say they like the committee? I am a person who believes in precedence. Let's look at the history of, select committees we had. We had one on tourism with Ahmadba. Did Ahmadba not behave the same way?
Yeah.
And we all know that the evidences are there. About 5 ecologies, none of them were built. And everything was squandered, and Ahmadba was responsible.
Yeah, you need to try like Olaf. Yeah.
Well, some of these technical things we have to do. But so understanding it. And again, let's be careful. Like Olaf, it might not be more competent because of there are people that speak other languages. They don't understand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you speak Olaf properly, they will miss out. I think for the audience we are talking to, they understand what we're doing, and we'll capture more people by explaining it in manner because of our audience. 90% of it are young people. Yeah. Or they are educated people. Understand? We are the Gambia. They understand our demography. Yeah. Our demography is not for us to hit the grassroots. That is for the politician to do. The approximate to the grassroots. Direct messages to the grassroots in different languages. Wow. Why equity in this sense? Yeah. Demography when you talk to, they are more to we lack the official language. Paul Giola or anything, didn't understand competently. But I'll try by all means to put more Wolof in it. Yeah. Now, so hole Luffy hell, she committees. I would then committee bo hamne deliver na lu ñu wara deliver bepe government be implementing. Just as all the commissions, I would then commissions bo hamne def nañ ko fi bepare implement nañ ko. Molane, there's no political will. But suñ defee committee, suñ defee commission, one thing la mooy ne just to jeexal wax bi. ñu continuer. Moo tax waxtaan yi ñoo waxtaanee moo tax mu am solo. So accountability bu tax ba committee bi am. dina continuer. te accountability boobu dañ ko bëgg a mu reflect si election results yi. loolu la ñoo waxtaan. soo gisee ñuy waxtaan njëriñ bi loolu la. def nañ si tourism ak GT board. ci écologue hôtel yoo xam ne moom la ñu waroon a samp si yenn tunda amul benn buñ samp alal bi yëpp kasaare nañ ko te abat ba moo responsible woon ak lépp tappale buñ ci def yëpp gis nañ ko doomam yi luñ ci njëriñoo keneen luñ ci njëriñoo yëpp ñu jël yooyu yëpp teg ko ba pare bu loolu xewee ñoo xam ne ndaw ñoo xam ne ñu ngi doon liggéey tourisme boobu jóg wax ñooñu lañ leen pénalise loolu yëpp gis nañ ko fi gis nañ fi di Russian petroleum
oil standard
loolu yëpp ñëw na fi ñëpp gis nañ évidence bi yëpp taxaw ñu def ci liggéey bu mucca waaye fan la dem government bi ne duñ ci def dara gis def nañ fi yeneen committee waaye dara génnu si bon buñ expect ne bii dara na si génn unless nit ñi dégg waxtaan yu ñoo waxtaan ñu taxaw si dellu ne luñ fi indi nekkul lu ñu doy moo tax ñu ne forensic accountant ñoo doon war a def liggéey bii mu doy yaa ngi laal si beneen aspect nga ne TDA bi ak yoon buñ jaar gis nga loo wax dëgg la gis nga soo buggee dara foog nga am stratégie pour xam loo bugga noo ko jotee dëgg la there's importance pour wax procedural matters yi operational procedural matters yi loolu is to address the issue about conflict of interest but you are quite right soo ko xoolee lu gën a make sense loolu moo war a mujjee ñaareel dañ war a seet lan a gën a effectif fan la alal bi gën a nekka lan moo gën a lëmbe ñu indi loolu force moo tax TDA bi nekk na loo xam ne dafa am dina doon gën a yomba pour ñu jàmbar loolu ni kayit yu taxaw si yooyu yëpp dafa taxaw ba pare dafa nekkoon assets yoo xam ne bagage yoo xam ne ay landed property yoo xam ne am na fu mu jaar kayit yëpp ñu ngi fa tegu te dañ mujjee jël ko jox ko ay nit yoo xam ne nuñ leen ko joxee as nuñ la loolu yëpp ay tappale la si nekka loolu waroon nañ koo xam ba pare ñu toppa si yeneen yi ba pare dañ waroon a indi duñ indi rek ñu jaay waaye ñun jaay tam waroon nañoo ñëw bon moo tax ma ne la su nekkee ne comité bi bëggoon nañoo liggéey duñ toog di ko appal benn weer ñaari weer ñetti weer moo tax ñu waroon a indi forensic accountants xaw ma nag parliamentary orders yi lu ñu wax ndax jaroon na sax comité bi ñu decide indi external experts ñu ñëw toog ci comité bi pour jàppale leen ñu def seen liggéey loolu óoruma ndax lu ñoo alaaw la lu ñu alaaw waaye su dee luñ doon alaaw la loolu sa waroon nañ koo def pour dëgëral rek looy wax ne am na lu bari loo xam ne yolom na waaye maa laa ne ëppandoole bi teylu la investigation suñ war a def loo wax si amat man xam naa amat suma first cousin ngee see raki amat depuis 1992 man dem naa kër amat xam naa activité xam naa amat before in fact ma suma mbokka see mbokkaam xam naa ko depuis bu moo nekk si hôtel yi di liggéey as entertainer Novotel background bi xam naa ko amat theatrical performer la saa yu ñëwee si comité dina wax lu du dëgga dina président boppam in a way and manner di wax ba di wax ne waaw man duma jël loo xam ne génne luñ si zakat du dëgga koo xam ne dina jël lu dul alelam dina wax ne man suma nag yi dama si génne jax zakat maa la wax ne amat mu su fa am gétta bala moo nekk ministre waxuma ne amul ñaar ñetta dénkaane waaye tey gétta yu amat am gétta yooyu yëpp te suñ si duggee nañ ko waxtaan waaw loolu rek pour déggal doy wax waaye tam suñ duggee tam dañuy waxtaan ñoo xam ne seede yoo xam ne ñëwuñ te gisuñ leen waaw loolu yëpp dañoo waxtaan la nga continue
foofu sax fi nga laalee sax man don't try pour read motion bi foog naa you've touched on a very important point fii buñ constitute buñ settle this motion man I made a post bu ma gisee committee bi ma ne I think ne there is a capacity gap here lan la parliament di def and from the response I had from the understanding from response I had from parliamentarians mooy ne they had the power to go and seek the service of experts comme li nga waxee forensic accountancy ni or even more senior lawyers to come and help them do that work. Now whether that has been done with the investigators, because most likely we will never know them, that's a question mark. But from what we see, so the committee members, a bit of accounting background, because accountant, from what I understand, Mbotamit studying finance and studying a bit of IT. But the experience we need on to dwell into those things, it was missing. And sometimes when someone is passionate about something, and I would have to give him a shout out and a credit, and I think if and the respect of many Gambians, Moy Omar Jato Jame, he was very poking, he was very proven, and Dinga Gisne, he was not come like follow Kuneka Sekanamam. He had a job to do. I am gonna do the job without any.
Important. Ham important na. Why integrity and independence more gonna important. Contrast what fofu. Nyari MPs yoyu wax yep they are compromised because of Kenaki Ahmad MP Ahmad Bala MP government la. Kenen ki nominated member President Barola lu President Baro bu mom lañuy def. Gis nañ seen liggéey ci house bi waaye gis nga am nga koo wax waaye xamuloo crédit dem sam in finance waaye intégrité am ak personnel tax na ba liggéeyam moo gën a màcc ñoom seen liggéey ñoo xam ne am nañ background bi loolu laa bëggoon a digal rek nga continue.
No, thank you. And to be quite honest, dafa amoon luñ laaloon si suñ note si sa and someone commented it here. soo seetee ñoom seen liggéey bi léegi pare nañ seen live testimony si and they have to go out and compile their report, gather some evidence. But pour man, and you can add some names into that. There are few names yi nga xam ne man and many people, including someone commented, he knew our notes, that why those people never came to testify. Or where is the information pour at least jël nañ a statement from those individuals? They did not name some few names because we got to remember, bu ñoo establish the Janneh Commission, the finance minister at the time then was Amadou Sane. Now, I am not saying his name, he is involved or he's compromised in anything. But time when you deal with the finances of the Janneh Commission, particularly the setup, he was the Ministry of Finance. Mungi fofu Gambia, and from my knowledge, I have not seen that guy been called to testify. Nekutone called to testify, he had did something wrong. Why did not want to explain a lot of issues around the finances, the sales, the proceeds? Because mention Nenko, even when it comes to the sale of the Jammeh planes, the likes of Tro Dabo has mentioned him in an interview in iAfrica. So man, I told me the likes of Amadou Sane, the then finance minister at the time, should have come to testify. Gisumako. The other name I would say there, after Amadou Sane left, the next finance minister that came and continued with the finance ministry job was Mambure Njai. And in fact, Mambure Njai, from testimonies and from documents that we've seen, including the Ministerial Task Force Committee we set up, that was to look into all these finances and the sales and the proceeds. For some reason, he had to excuse himself because he was heavily or adversely mentioned through the commission. Now, why he was adversely mentioned and why he was removed from that Ministerial Task Force Committee Bini should have called him to testify. So two former finance minister Yohamne, they were involved, they were there, has not testified. Now, you indicate someone like Syndicator, who has been a finance minister from 2024. Now, an audience be there to bring a finance minister who relatively have nothing to do with the Janneh Commission or the work, and then you missed out those two ministers. Now, I'm not I'm yo say yo Cardinal I think those two definitely should have been called to testify. They would have helped the committee. Why they didn't come or why they have not been called to testify, they will come and explain it or report. But Purman, that was something significantly missing. Hamnane, you have some other names to add.
Thank you very much, Bakary. I'm glad you pointed to the issue about being a witness. Being a witness does not mean that you have committed a crime. A witness is that you have knowledge of what has transpired. And if you want to investigate a case or an incident, then you need the witnesses, because of witness testimonies are one of the corresponding evidences that will arise.
Yeah.
And then they and the material evidence and so on. And in order to the facts, you need people that have played a role or people that have knowledge of what has happened to come and testify. Who you testify? Well, legi yow, so in fact, nga ole ñu testify, yang leena dooleel su nekkee ne defuñ dara.
Yeah.
Yang leena setal. But so len invited, in fact, defuloo leen justice. Because bu mun nañoo ne lana tax ooy Amadou Sane kan moo koo jàpp dafa am ku ko nobal. Lana tax kooluñ Mambure Njie dafa am ku la ko nobal. Naa waxangum si ñaar yooyu. But I can tell you something logical. Man de foog naa ne government bi duñ nobal Amadou Sane.
Yeah.
It's not to their interest. But so in the Amadou Sane, di nga likely reveal loo xam ne bëgguloo mu reveal. Because of su ñëwee pour testify foog mu bëgg a setal boppam, and in setal boppam mun na moo génnee loo xam ne ñoom bëgguñ mu génna. It is very important. The Ministerial Select Committee waroon nañoo ñëw ñoom ñëpp ñu testify.
Yeah, I agree.
So bàyyee xel Batambe du saa yu nekk su buggee génn si dara dafa ne loolu ñu ko décidé woon si Ministerial Select Committee.
True.
ñeneen ñi yëpp dañoo ne ministère te soo bàyyee xel njuuj jaaj bu bari am na fa.
Yeah.
yaa ngi understand loolu.
And Ministerial Task Force bisa bro send meeting notes apparently they were not being signed. So how do we know those were even credible notes here?
Amadou Sane su nekkee na oversee na the selling of the plane. Amadou Sane mënu koo def on his own. President committee la but president bi committee loo dee def dañ dee make recommendation to the president. President bi mun naa override or mun na moo accept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then they don't want that to happen. But tapale boobu mu forward. Then ñun ñu toog ci committee bi yëpp tam dañ am pour jël responsibility. moo tax ñu war a ñëw wax ñoom lan lañ def pour ñu mun a xam kan la ñu hold accountable. ñoom la ndax président gis nga bon ñaata committee indi committee bi is to protect the president ndik moom moo am the last authority over la mooy yaa ngi maa dégg loolu.
Yeah, makes sense.
naa la wax di reason bu ma xam lu tax Mamboure Njie testify. Mamboure Njie, I'm not a fan of Mamboure Njie. Not anything. Why xam ngeen ñëpp xam nañ how much laa ko criticize. Yeah. I can tell you Mamboure Njie is a brother. This started in since the 1990. 1989, 1990 laa ko xam. Oh no, before that. Xam naa family we go way. Honestly, this I mean foo xam ne xam naa ko bu baax waaye su ñëwee tuuti nga dañ ko wax. bu ñëwee pour jël property si pour jox ko Alpha Barry. By Batambedu, Mamboure Njie fa bañoon. The Minister of Finance mooy the Chief Accounting Officer for Government.
Makes sense, yeah.
Property, pour jaay property si it's not difficult. Property is not difficult. When you lose in revenue, we can take that capacity and put it in MRC. There's a organ of government or an institution of government that we can use to oversee these things and we can do it diligently. Yeah. Lady, because of interest Nakalatuda
Batambedu
at president. Because of num ñëwee mooy Batambedu la fa yóbbu Binta Cissé dinaa ñëw si Binta Cissé who was then Batambedu's girlfriend. Binta Cissé is a friend to Alpha Barry, a long-term friend. The handle Alpha Barry capacity in accounting. Binta was a former banker. Léegi gars yi ñoom Batambedu buñ buggee labaj dañ dem si Baro. Batambedu yóbbu Binta Cissé si Baro introduce ko as friend not girlfriend. Mu ne ko kii lañ bugg a jox pour Binta Cissé si la am compagnie bu ñoo MOAB. Yeah. Nga de. Yeah. Moom lañ bugg a pour jox ko contrat bi. Waaye ñu indi Alpha Barry justify ko mooy Alpha Capital. About months or almost a year before that, Alpha Barry still had them register Alpha Capital. Yep, pour njuuj njaaj loo xam ne ñoom xam nañ ne there's a bonanza coming. Léegi nag later part bi Barrow sax soo gisee Tambadou gën a resign from minister. Coow lii moo tax waxoon naa ko. Barrow léegi bu mu demee léegi luñ def bu Barrow waxee ne ko waaw finance minister bi ni lii xam nga lu mu ko wax. Mu ne dañ si war a génne finance minister bi because he was adversely mentioned in the Janneh Commission. Waaye yow mun nga advise government bi na ko ñu génne ko si mbiri Janneh Commission bi. Waaye ñu bàyyi ko as minister of finance.
Yeah, that's contradictory. Yeah.
Buñ demee attaque Mamboure because he was adversely mentioned. It's not the Buga Réew mi moo tax. It's not transparency moo tax. Why? Because of Buga nañoo akimo the management of the assets. boo xam ne moom Ba Tambadou jànxaam bi woon léegi nekk jabaram Binta Cissé ak Alpha Bari nekk xariti Binta Cissé bugga nañoo jël millions out of it looloo tax Mamboure Ndiaye boolewuñ ko si moo tax tamit suñ indee Mamboure Ndiaye mu testify su Mamboure Ndiaye testify lu xew di nga gis président bi moom dinañ ko écart yaa ngi gis si tout instance lu tax Amadou Sané lu tax Mamboure Ndiaye ñëwul looloo tax tam Binta Cissé ñëwut
ok
Bakary nag Gambien si xalaat Mawap ma capital boo xam ne Binta Cissé moo ko moom koo xam ne jang Ba Tambadou la woon kooku suñ ko indiwut yow bokk si loo xam ne luñ fay Alpha Bari dañ ko see fay buñ fàtte ne Alpha Bari jaayewut property bi lu ko neexee rek waaye buñ jaayee dañ jël xaalis bi def ko si account boo xam ne account bi mu doon indi interest te interest boobu joxuñ ko government
wow
anytime thing loo jaayal government alaay dafa war a dem straight to central bank account
that's true
mooy wane tappale bi yëpp la Ba Tambadou jiite moo Alpha Bari ak Binta Cissé waaye indiwuñ Binta Cissé su Ba Tambadou buggee toog di wax ne moom la fa set lanata indiwuñ jabaram kenn du fi mun a set waaye am na yeneen yu ñoo mun a wax in fact si mbiri Binta Cissé lu tax Binta Cissé ma bàyyi la nga ñëw
in fact sir Ben wax nga fa something li nga xam ne lu significant and I think loolu dafa dëgëral li nga wax because apparently from the testimony bu ma dégga si Sidi Keita moom si boppam the finance minister after all protested this ne the sales of those properties or anything to do with Jammeh assets should be done by the Ministry of Finance. And in fact, the Public Procurement Act, the Constitution of the Gambia, degeral na lolo, because that's why you have a finance minister. Te linga wafini tambana trop new ekoko. Because if they are saying the finance minister at that time, which is Mamboure, he's adversely mentioned at the Jammeh Commission to a level then ko gene si linga hamne ligeyam la, which is the ministerial task force, then mom as the chief advisor to the president, then he have the right to what the president, if this guy cannot perform or execute his duties, why should he be a minister? So domuna wane nangene kokusi ministerial task force committee, a very significant role. Why you didn't say anything about Momuneka as a Ministry of Finance. And Tamit, Linga Wafini, it's quite disheartening. They brought in a company, from what I understand, Linga Hamne, Amuton, even a year old, and Amunion capacity bonunon even to do that. Let's bring the first receiver that was appointed was what's the name again? Prom. Yeah, which is a international, not Gambian red. It's they have international reputation and respect and capacity.
And they have about 30 for 40 years practice.
Exactly, with that significant experience, they're very inexperienced, among capacity. The company has not been set up that long. And imagine how much, in fact, it was funny, one of the witness testimony with the young lead counsel, something at Alpha Capital, where you were just following the sales, because the guy, any sales that he makes commission out of that.
Yes.
And one of the failures there, or one of the issues, we had a government institution at the time called AMRC. Yes, they might have some management issues, but what government needed to do was spend some money, bring some competent people in there. Issue, those people would have handled it. That massive commission, and I'm because we've raised almost 1 billion. That's what's been raised. And if that 1 billion sale has all been raised through Alpha Capital, owned by Alpha Bari,
100 million.
Imagine just one guy has made 100 million on
over
commission.
100 million.
Over 100 million. And then, you are point Bingawa, the victims of Jammeh to date, they only received 50 million.
No, did it? They didn't receive nothing. Remember again, 50 million from Senegal.
Exactly, 50 million from Senegal. Yeah. So the guy that's been brought in by Ba, along with his wife, has made over 100 million.
Kaima reveal la something else loo xam ne ñu bari bàyyi ko xel first fàtte nga ne Alpha Capital wax na ne am na property soo xam ne defu ko si website bi because website bi amutoon capacity for it lan la tax ñu laa fay over 100 million loo xam ne yow amuloo mënula build website sax boo xam ne dina mën a jël lépp
waaw
Bakary loolu du dëgg because the property si am na yoo xam ne bëgguñ koo fara def dañu am na nuñ ko bëgg a def bul fàtte ne only méegul 100 million de am na lu mu meeg te ñun xamuñ ñaata la
mooy interest bi
xaalis buñ jël di ko dugal si account muy yiil ala imagine 500 million dem si account nga am interest of 7% or more
wow
ñaata million la
it's a lot of money
another thing mooy gis nga di shares of Gam Petroleum shares yoo xam ne base yi ñu ngi ko amee woon ak ñeneen ban liggéey amul benn liggéey bu am solo bu mu si def loolu yëpp finance mënoon nañ koo def
true
waaye ñu ko fay on I mean millions on that interest bu loolu doon make yëpp ñu ko fay interest ñu ko see fay
in fact why loo xam ne shares la why do we even have to give him to sell shares that's something nga xam ne the Ministry of Finance can take care of it like this
kan ka moo tax ñu jaay shares yi laajtal ku jaay shares yi
I don't know ñuy seetaan bëgg nañoo xam
ñu ngi jaay shares yi ñu ñoo ooyee Star Oil ñu ko moom Mauritanian lañ ak Senegalese Mauritanian that kind of nationality waaye su ma mbokki Paul Furi la ñu ngi sant bari astafurlah Baro ñooñu dañ jox kickback to Adama Baro
waaw
dañ jox kickback to Adama Baro Bakary gis nga Jaane commission bi man maa njëkk a génna di wax about the corruption Alpha Bari naa la ne suma jarbaat la maa génna di wax Batambedu 39 maa yóbbu koot man ko ñëwal
boobu déggoon naa ko
remember waaw bu lu ma leen xool Binta Cissé daanaka maamam suma xarit papa la Binta maamoom dañ bokk classe primary 6 Bakal school aw ma benn interest pour yaa xasentu waaye Gambia moo ko ëppa
definitely
you understand now xam nga ne any profit any luñ fay Alpha xam nga ne Binta daf si am shares
of course because moom mooy
yow su nekkee ne lu sa jabar feeku doo si njëriñ bon yow nga dem moom Batambi dafa dem indi jàngxaam pour moom mu mun see njëriñoo moo tax su la Batambi benn xaalis dugut account wax na dëggaam waaye nag xaalis bi jaar na si account yi jabaram
and in fact foofu laa mere this committee because pour man she was a crucial witness boo xam ne she should have come to testify and what the things that they did to other people waroon nañ ko subject because the likes of Aliou Jallow if I can remember the Register General at the time and even Tabali dañ joxe order pour ñu submit their bank accounts during that period now what needed to happen was if this lady came to testify moom tamit the committee should have demanded the same thing. So Limunge explain now why the committee didn't have the appetite to do that. So we've named 3 people in your hamne. They should have testified. Kufe Satan or Kui Satan after. These people should have testified.
Wow.
They have not.
Can I one thing about Binta Nyaka testifying? Bulfatene just as to Amadou Sane testifier, Barrow will be called in. Because of can I am the authority to override any decision we have the committee generally ko Adam Barrow.
Because it goes to cabinet no more.
Testify on Barrow will be called in. Now Binta to testify on Bulfatene. It was Batambedu, Adam Barrow at Binta. You strike the deal, put Binta Jai Elifini Naka take over mu indi Alpha Bari into it. Because of Mom Barrow, laflon am kickback from the deal. But to business testify, and new account me, but dina am trace to Barrow. Mota you need a forensic accountant. Lumala.
Yeah.
Te Binta amut fofu am na benen interest boo xam ne nañ ci dugal di explain lana binta testify because su testify di nga téye baatam du again gis nga ma wax la one thing about another thing about the witnesses am na ñu soldat yu ñu wax nii at lii yëpp ñu topp seen kaw waaye gis nga su soldat yooyu su nekkoon ne forensic dañ will have forensic accountants you'll have more because soldat yooyu am na allégation boobu bii moom damaa ne allégation boo xam ne kuñ doon ooyee time boobu one of the guard commanders ñu ko ooyee Turo Jawne under the instructions of Turo Jawne some of the people ñu doon liggéey ci vehicle division bi Baro jox lo sent na leen about 4 or 5 vehicles yóbbu ko Bissau jox ko Serigne Baro in Bissau from the Jaya vehicles
wow
xam nga ne loolu dégguloo ko ci commission
bi
because of those people xam nañ ne government bi mu ngi leen a protect then lu commission bi xam lu committee bi xam rek la ñoo deal with ñooñu soo leen yóbbuwoon court tey ñu xam ne dinañ tëdda billahi dañ wax ne ñoom dañ leen jox instruction def nañ lii def nañ lii moo tax ma ne la committee bi it's not competent to investigate this matter now ñeneen ñi ñoom ñëpp dañoo have to look after each other they know more but they will not say it because of ñu ngi feel ne ñu ngi protect each other it's a joint enterprise su ma waxee ñun ñëpp a bokk mbuus mi su ma waxee naa bëna mbuus bi su ma bënee mbuus bi bon suñ secret ñun ñëpp mu feeñ ma taxaw foofu
jërëjëf just pour si continuer rek si turi nga wax very important witness yoo xam ne now we understand why they're not being called and for now Nancy expand more towards the end of the program but we've seen this guy called Sergeant Jang more on yefi the garage where these vehicles were kept and all that si testimony from what I understand through modern follow there's another guy called Seth Njai Kinga Hamne is also adversely mentioned by the witnesses and all that Koku is another individual being a hamne. Man, I don't know the individual, but I remember the name. Fogon Nane Tami, he should have been called to testify. He has not been called to testify. Machek Yan Turek la Amewon from and the other important one is even some of the sellers, and I will mention the seller here because come ninko de wahe ni rek, nyum suñu wahe, it's not about family connection. Gambia comes first always because so say you in amna family. Is Gambia. Now, I'm not a big seller being a hamne. Every almost other buyer, they're gonna need this individual has buy. Moy Hamidija. I would have expect someone like, and he's a brother to me, someone like him, tell me what on ko omo testify on your jail statements mom because in fact this nine I'm not being a section si salesy, I'm not vehicle sure hamne it were a batch then go sell in bulk. I would have expected someone like him even should have done wrong side, he should have come and be given the chance to explain Luther and how all that sales transpired. But one of the witnesses for my stopagum rek bro yangi mel niko freeze moy this guy called Dusano. Gis nañ kenn si testify si witness the testify moy that Sergeant Jang. One before even the sales of the Jane Commission started. The current presidential advisor, the Dusano, Nona Fofuno gain a brand new tractor. Now, whether he paid for the tractor or he didn't pay it, or Kanako instruct Purmugine Kofa or foot tractor with them, or where the tractor is, I think there's someone like him been mentioned like that in the commission. Kokutam Warona Boka Sininga Ham the committee be Waronenko or when you testify. Not even MC statement, right? Because when mentioned in public, you would give them two options. Kinda settle sa two. And suneke mandama warana settle suma tur silima tuma or silima to that. I would rather come in public, talk, explain if I didn't have anything to hide. So I think also not having someone like him being mentioned and not being called, and also a very senior government official is very striking. Now, she but I understand there has been also a lot of people in the public you don't feed committee some evidences. And some of those evidences are credible and tangible. And some of those evidence were linked to very senior government officials. Now, I came across that, and I believe someone like you might have come across some evidence or some other tool. But Gambia is very small. And earlier, Wanga Fidara. So, how many years back? Anything that changed in terms of wealth status, you would easily notice it. Now, Jammeh's status, even though she sells swing defi or in terms of value, they are the lowest of the scale.
Yeah.
But it's about the significant. $10, $10, it's all equivalent. Especially so, neke ko hamne yo warulo ko jel. O so neke si nga hamne dañ boka si nga hamne dañ tek liggéey bi pour saytu ñana jël ñi nga hamne waru ñoo jël. Now, and this is where I'm gonna point to the committee. And hopefully, it's not come no Uncle Badara Diouf Donwa, the former vice president. It's never too late to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not evidence you send committee bi, and people ñu nge wax léegi or ñu nge commencé di ngunu ñu de joxe nañ evidence bi joxe nañ leads bi ni, but we've seen that there is no appetite for the committee to send investigators or to act upon it. And these are credible and tangible evidence. Now, do not preempt what they would do in their report. But swing me say key evidence or key witnesses your hamne should have helped the work of the committee. The family ñom seen boppa ñu ngi undermine seen liggéey bi. Or then it would make people like you and me and others question their integrity. Now, mention na fi yefi nak. There is credible evidence that in 2018 there was a truckload of Jammeh's cow. They've been transported to CRR. Man hamna ñaari place yuñ leen transport. It's not like I'm withholding information because ñoom am nañ information.
I know that. I got the information. I got the information.
Now, ñoom xam nañ information boobu. Man xam naa information boobu. Yoo xam nga information boobu noonu. If they fail to act upon that information, it's inexcusable.
Yeah.
They pare nañ leen si ŋaaña nañ leen si criticize te dina justify lu ñoo question around their partisan or protecting people.
Wow.
Because those two truckloads of vehicles, one of them went to a place called Ker Oldie School. One of them went to a place where I am originally from, not in my village, but a village in my district.
Bakary,
in Nyanija.
Bakary, nga bala ma ñëw fofu.
Yeah.
Myself, xam naa ne jot nañ lot of intelligence from my end. Duma wax nuñ ko jotee waaye xam naa ko. Because acknowledge nañ ko.
Yeah.
Investigators yi dealing with it.
Okay.
And these are facts. Yaa ngay gis nag yooyu wax. Du kenn gannaaw Amat Bah. Man wax naa la ne xam naa Amat Bah when before 1990. bu moo nekk hotel entertainer. xam naa ko xam naa last minute amul lu wéccee ko su moom rek bu mu nekkee ministre. maa la ne Amat Bah lu ñoo wax ne dafa amee woon hotel sax du hotelam. dañ ko laaxoo sàcc alali sàcc. moo tax mënuloo gis evidence of amam si moom. ni mun naa laa wax Caaroy. kër benn laan bu mu amoon Caaroy tey mu sampa ko story building xam naa la wax xam naa nu mu amee kër googu Caaroy. depuis taami Jammeh ko xamul Amat Bah man dama xam Amat Bah place yooyu wax noonu nag yooyu yëpp du kenn gannaaw nag yi Amat Bah ba am nañ xam naa turi driver bi te turi driver bi sa jox nañ ko investigateur bi xam nga ne yum yóbbu Casamance Brazilian cattle si yooyu daf ko soril Gambia yóbbu ko Casamance because they are easily identifiable.
Yeah.
Because Yaya Jammeh ka amee woon yooyu at that time. Amat Bah sàccakat la sàcc na nag yi. He's not even paid for them. Paid dara. yaa ma de evidence yooyu am nañ ko moo tax ma ne la man du ma jël report bi credibly. gis nga first thing luy waxee yaa ngi wax waxee du saano. obviously war nañ ko but duñ risk pour ordre du sano because of xam nañ ne loose canon la
yeah
su waxee bro kan mooy jox du sano tractor o kan mooy instruct ñu jox du sano tractor bon yaa ngi gis witness yooyu wax yëpp di nga trace back to Barrow now moo tax ma ne la su doon forensic accountant foog ñu détermine ko o nga yóbbu ko in jël investigation yóbbu ko to court of law du sano foog mu wax fu mu jëlee tractor wala dem kaso now soo bàyyee xel tractors yi si boppam lanaay ndey ñuy jaay tractors when Gambian farmers need tractors after few years nga dem di jënd ay mbaam di koy jox Gambian farmers
sad
xam nga ne bon ñu ko amee woon te decide nu ñoo def tractors yi ñooñu seen interest lañ xam te naa waxaat leneen dinaa emphasize ne boobu tam allegations la am na ku sant Tembedu ñu ne nijaay ba Tembedu la fàtte naa tur bi ida Kisima or something like that tourista hole ñu ne jox nañ ko ay tractors ida mu ngi jógee baram naka Medina or somewhere dikki sarahole ne jox nañ ko ay tractors moo tax ma ne la soo investigator da nga am pour indi di sellers da nga war a indi di buyers just as no waxee ne some case of Amad kii loolu lu ma waxaat la indi nit as witness is not that danga ko tuumal but fekkee na yeah moo wax la ñun suñu investigation suñu binda statement suñ bañee kii passé ñu oo ko we make sure we don't put their names. Once you put their name, they will call as a witness.
Yeah.
Understand? But ni central to gain the bias list me, then what it determine.
Yeah.
What to say that some of them said they were not the bias. Do you know?
True.
That?
Yeah.
Because ledgers in one, they did not countersign on those ledgers.
Yeah.
They have not produced any form of payment to prove that this is what they have paid for.
Or even IDs to match the names.
Well, names.
You know?
Do you know there's a lady, something Ture? Big list of names.
Yeah.
That lady cannot buy a cattle. That lady bought properties and everything.
Yeah.
Why you cannot on that behalf or suspect name? What a man is not competently done. Hadem guy. Properties nyata bagas ko jay.
Yeah.
And do we know that all those things went? There's a fuller guy, you know, we am a you can have you know all those amount of vehicles that person could not have bought them. Wow, so they can that fuller guy, Santa Bila Fati. You know, for break yard.
Something so, nah?
Five cars like sell.
Wow.
How many they go for then go guys in Tapale? Then you get inflated cars, you get 15 cars. How many cocoa do? They already commit a crime.
Yeah.
When go use la hoko. Motamane lane forensic accountants more them look at the bias and into every detail.
Yeah.
Every detail. What la nagi I'm not gonna one yata hard lafade.
Yeah, 400 something hard. That's just crazy.
Man I'm not kumane fum deka funko government quarters bunko johon the fan yoyu mugi dem defar a place mugi am hard you did there. Do you think that the Ghana court of law did those answers?
No.
Because they are protected. All these people have they have done bigger to others.
Yeah.
Passing that gift because of new naked witness, some of them so them pin on down. They will tell them part of Nagi. Part of Nagi, Manko Joki, Nakala Tuda, Manko Joh Amasa. Why what are the new didn't in it? Bro, then I'm going to fix something.
Yeah. So come to brother Ben Don Warek. It's crazy because like what we expected commission be put def more. Full Janef commission be defe wrong, particularly when it comes to the list of the bias. Putting man fogon na fofla guy or na gena emphasize on to identify who are those bias because comme nuko brother Ben waxe fi di nga gis ay buyer bo xamne di ko gis in 3 different places. So dañ need to put trace those bias jël sen ID indi some of them even pour ñu testify ne man de mama do Bakary for example mama jëndon li ak li ak li. But again, you know we focus on the small fish and we let the big fish go away. Gis nañ ko si sales list where someone bought 11 cattle comme nag yu ndaw yi noonu, and that nag so converted num jëndee nag bu nekka it's $909. Imaginal de ñu ne la jaay nañ nag $909, or let's just say $900. Li nga xam ne léegi béy sax mënu la koo jox or xar. That's how much they were selling some of these cattle. So comme fu brother Ben doon waxee nii rek, we are not second guessing this select committee, but I think based on some of the things that we know that they should have done and they didn't do, it makes it very difficult now. And so gisee ñuy ñëw pour wax fii nii nekku dañ noppi ba time bii nii, there is a reason why we also coming out today pour wax, and dinañ explain loolu, because precedents have been set. This is the first time in the history of the Gambia nga set up a commission, spend millions of pounds in that commission, and then nga ñëw indiwaat beneen parliamentary committee to look into the work of that commission. So these committee members at government bi waroon nañoo jàngee lessons lii, because if what we expect in terms of transparency, credibility, and evidence you need, if we don't have it, again, people would hold them accountable. John Nugala Gene to demand and protest for this list to come out, for something to be done. That doesn't mean the Gambians are not happy, particularly the instigators of this, the likes of Gala. I'm not their spokesperson, but I know if they're not happy with the outcome, then they could take action. So the reason why you talk to Ruafini, it's also pour gëna dëgëral our belief. What we've seen, we have some reservations and concerns, but they are going now to compile their report. Bakary, there is still,
let me come to that, Bakary Ngabala. Bakary, Lloyd explained it's very important. Let me put it this way. For accountability, at every process needed to be held to account. During the process of the committee, amount time we supposed to hold it to account. At mid-level of it, at the end of it, and after it.
True.
Accountability is about to catch things into records. The other part of accountability is the implementation of the actions that are to be taken from the findings. Now, what we are doing today, we are not preempting anything. But in fact, we are holding the committee to account, and we are holding the government to account, because there's so much of shortcomings, which we need to prepare the Gambian public, make them aware, so that they will be, pare, who make sure when the report comes out, they will know where we are. The talk basic report, you don't have that time. Understand? And why was very important. Whether this government does something about it or not, Gala have achieved something there. Force Nenko, as a commission, a committee has to be set up to deal with that, and it's not conclusive. But you know what? We had added information during this committee sittings.
True. That is true.
And awareness. In fact, this government is not ready to bring the facts out. Now, another government have more information to work with. And to indicate. It's not almost about how intentions are very important. So I made good intentions, so they fail wrong, sir. It's a mistake. But genuine, sa intention tapalela. Ala wax ne do mëna def lu baax, lo def rek tapalela. Now, even to manage things they dispose of, most of it should not have been disposed of. 100%, many government institutions later went on board cars and other things. You understand? Cars, they are utility vehicles that could have been used by ministries and others. They have sold agriculture implements, be tractors, be pump machines, be solar equipment. They have sold I'm like, look, competence you different. I'm not music, whatever, theatrical, this thing that could have gone to the University of Gambia.
Yeah.
But in a funko muna yobu, they don't lost anything, but you add value to them. Yeah. Naka productive for Gambian people. How much do I talk the halat to manage dara? Pumuba, no no.
Yeah.
What's the naked halat? Yo, Nakanga Sedo. Because for all the names in your yep, they are patrons of the government.
Yeah.
And some of the names we don't know, probably, or not known as patrons of the government, they have been used by the patrons of the government to cover up themselves. We have high-end vehicles. Hanga Benasi Fatena Turimotobi, the one that was taken to Dakar.
What, G-Wagon or
Nunadenko Exchange?
Yeah.
You know that Yaya Jammeh imported that for the celebration of the elections.
Yes.
You
My
know,
Rolls Royce Phantom, yeah.
Phantom,
Yeah.
You know, that was specially customized.
Yes.
And the bulletproof features.
Yeah.
You know, minimum that would have gone $500,000.
No, bro. Gis nga sa harama yokala madimbale la even in that vehicle because you so jele $500,000.
Yeah.
Nga jenda ko vehicle moto.
Yeah.
Dañoo ne moto Sulayman Ben Suwareh la.
Yeah.
If a president, regardless of Muya Jammeh or Barrow, so jende moto even mu toksi bena one day mu dawal ko. Dañoo ne is a former president's car. That value.
That's a sentimental value.
I'll give an example. When I was at HSBC, Swinch chairman, the boom safi 40 years in the bank. Amudara luko bank bimuna jo as a gift. But this guy is a James Bond fan, like he's a James Bond movie fan. That they them set any movies and all that. The bank has to go into an auction to buy a DB, Aston Martin DB, that was used by James Bond in one of his movies to present as a gift.
Yeah.
And just because of James Bond was the guy that used that car, the car value was about 300,000, 400,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But because of it was used in a movie, it was used by a big movie actor. That car, the bank bought it for 1.5 million pounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Legi, that Rolls Royce Phantom binga waya Jammeh, it's not about the cost being acquire. You're looking about the sentimental and
the value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that motto, not less than $2 million, it should have fetched $2 million. I'm telling you. And in fact, we had it in one of Kurang's testimony or in one of Kurang's lini. Mune amna so were external bias.
Yes.
In Nyinga Hamne, they were inquiring because Hamganyu am alelini, they collect this kind of vehicles, they are high-end vehicle. Kinko yobo sen garasi or they collected it, then you moto bini, president do sangam, so they would pay more money out of that. So that Rolls Royce alone could have earned us nearly $100 million or $200 million is easily.
Yeah. Why is there big time again? I want to bring this Binta Sise and in fact Madam Bensouda's positions. Okay, let me start Memomoto.
Yeah.
Let me come with the case of Binta Sise. These are the more reasons Binta was not.
Yeah.
Do you realize that there was a property? Again, you know the Director General of Gambia Tourism Board.
Yes, Mr. Kamara. Yeah. Kamara, yeah.
You know he lied to the commission. Commission.
In fact, he should have been subpoenaed to come and testify again because the Johe evidence.
Wow.
But that same evening, he went and released a press release completely different to the testimony he's given.
Yeah. So
Lolo, the committee should have called him back again, either to sanction him or to get the record straight again, because that was the very day we testify. Bala Mare is something I needed to say.
It's good. It's good. I put that comment. Okay. Let me start with Madam Bensouda, in fact.
Yeah.
For the chair to accept, to answer to Madam Bensouda, Neko, I have not bought, or any of my family members have bought properties of Yaya Jammeh. For the chair to answer in positively, the chair have shown been intimidated, or his lack of experience.
Yeah.
Because of the chair should not te Madam Bensouda lum def moko tay xamna.
Yeah, yeah.
Su nekkon
Yeah,
di
he
chair
played
bobu
him.
du ko don answer te du ko don accept.
Yeah, Dafko played big time for
Wow.
Yeah.
Because your report, even your report, your committee have not even concluded yet.
Yeah.
And a report have not been developed yet.
Yeah.
As a chair, you cannot ascertain whether that person is culpable or not.
Yeah.
Yamade, one. Two, the question asked was subjective.
Yeah.
It was subjective to buying Yaya Jammeh's former property, buying.
Yeah.
You know, the question was not, I have not had access to any property previously owned by Yaya Jammeh. That would have involved buying it, being allocated, or reallocated. And to make it clear, some people might think, what is the difference between allocated and reallocated?
Yeah.
Because if a land that was reserved is given to one person, that means that land is allocated to that person.
Yeah.
Now, if that same land is taken from that person to another buyer,
It's
or
reallocated.
given to another person, then this act is reallocated to someone else.
Yeah.
Understand? Now, if a reserve land is given to someone, it's an allocation. Then that granting of the property more than Bakary more property. Now, to take, there must be a violation of the lease for the property. For instance, if you don't develop it in 10 years, 5 years, whatever, there are conditions laid for allocation. Or it has to be purpose of a hotel or this or that. Do change of use. If it is had to go to change of use, we will have the right to re-enter it to the state. Then we can reallocate it to someone else. Bobu Benal. Now, after the testimony, the Director General of Naka Tourism Board, Ababakar Kamara, was reading, from a lease document. And when he read from this lease document, Mune, a property that was allocated to Yaya or Yaya misappropriated, whatever it is, was reallocated to something Bensouda. I forgot his first name.
CD.
Anyway,
Is it CD?
CD or something. Anyway, it's a son to Madam Bensouda.
Yes.
Then the chairman is wrong. The answer. Now, when that statement was made, a company was called Ocean
Bay.
Ocean Blue Properties. Then Ocean Blue Properties came out to say that they did not buy a property from Yaya. They were allocated. Ocean Blue is wrong. That's not an allocation. That's a reallocation.
Okay.
And if the Director General was reading from a lease, even if the lease now have been forfeited from Yaya and re-entered, it's a reallocation. And still, then it's a fact that Madam Bensouda's child, a company linked to the son, have obtained a property from the properties confiscated from Yaya Jammeh. I hope that will be captured in the reports. Then that's the same night you referring to, the same Ababakar Kamara came into prejudice himself again, saying that he did not say that. When we have heard what he said on video, and I've seen him looking at the paper, and that paper was having a list, he have read from a list document. You see the compromise there. This is one that was not conclusive, and the report committee then have to put a conclusive report on how did this came about.
Tefofusa is very important you emphasize ko because mom now in the records during the live testimonies is affirmative to a question raised by him. Legi imagine na swing a report and encompass in that report your linksiwa. They can easily challenge it and say, no, during live testimony, we've asked this question, but the committee chairman said no. Why now are we in this position? So that would be the angle of challenge. I think Purman, yes, I know the guy, I like him, he's a brother, I respect him, but I think Munuma Wane, it was a bit naive for him to answer that way he answered because Yange already preempt something that has not even concluded yet. And now, if any other evidence come beyond that, you've already put yourself in a situation. And based on at that time, Madam Bensouda was still now the family did something wrong. But there is now evidence that came later, which that also blue property is been a reallocation. It's not an allocation, but a reallocation. Linga one is very important you clarify because allocation and reallocation is two different terminologies there. Because social security, then they allocate property. The TDA, then they allocate like properties in the tourism development area. They am conditions you they take up. Either you didn't fulfill the payment in the terms and condition, or the time frame will develop within that time frame you didn't develop them, or government have a better use or a better purpose for that property. You know, that's something that always at the case. So we will see what the reports would say. Anything else, bro? On final thoughts,
no, wait.
Yeah.
Let's come to Binta Sise.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. You know why Binta Sise should have come back again? There's a property at the TDA. Again, under the Motabor Henry, the TDA was a very important case.
Yes.
Under the TDA, land that was allocated to Rascom. Rascom is a regional telecoms body. Bohamne was headed by a Gambian called Iliman Cham, who was the technical director for Gamtel before 1994 coup.
Yes. I remember the name, yes.
What about the quality of Gambians we had? Iliman left and went and had Rascom. Which very big collision. And they came to Gambia for a conference or something. Then Yaya offered them a land to build their sub-regional headquarters. Around the TDA. That land is the lease of the land was still active under Ransom.
Okay.
Now, Binta Sise's company, Moab, Binta Sise, who is now the wife of the former Justice Minister Batamiru, then he was the girlfriend of the former Minister Batamiru, was allocated, demarcated that land.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And when the likes of me came out online and voiced it out, they quickly went back and asked for a refund of their levy that they paid for that land.
Yeah.
Is that
I've seen that somewhere, yeah.
Was not that an act of corruption?
Exactly.
Was not an act of conflict of interest?
Yeah.
You see, these are the things Binta Sise need to come for. Another case for Binta Sise and Batamiru. Binta Sise was married to a gentleman called Koto Sompo Sise.
Yeah.
Former permanent secretary. Now, Sompo Sise went broke. And I'm not going into details because they're kind of family sensitive.
Yeah.
But just say that he was kind of in a complicated situation. He needed to raise money.
Capital.
Which Binta, in fact, have influence in.
Yeah.
This was years ago. And as I said, it's family sensitive. Let me just say, they went and, I know how everything went on, but they went and got Yaya Jammeh. Yaya did not force them. They went and seek Yaya Jammeh to help by buying the property.
Okay.
properties for that matter. It was a home
Yeah.
in Fajara, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a poultry farm as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yaya Seme bought
Mm-hmm.
this property and paid for the property and everything through his bank account
Yeah.
in one of the listings.
Mm-hmm.
And this, when property was re-entered, confiscated from Jammeh.
Oh.
And guess what? From Ba and Alpha Bari and whatever they did, they took that property and resold it, the compound,
Yeah.
because Ajame was, I think using that compound as a home for his pilots
Okay.
or mates.
Yeah.
Because of, from when Ajame paid for it and now,
Mm-hmm.
that property has 10
Skyrocketed.
triple
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
value.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they did?
Yeah.
They give the property back to Binta, technically Binta, because what Binta made was to make
Mm-hmm.
sure the property is put in Binta's children's name. But when they did the transaction, it was returned back to Binta's former husband to pay back what Jammeh had paid for it. It was not a forced purchase. They cannot
Okay.
claim a forced purchase. Then
Yeah. Mm.
that property should be sold at value, at fair
Yeah.
market value.
Mm.
And that's not corruption.
Yeah.
Billions have gone in that transaction.
And that's one transaction only.
Yes, the poultry farm. So far, the documents I've seen, let me say this clear. What I've seen the documents, the poultry farm was technically just returned to the old man, but the Binta's former husband, I don't think the property is in Binta. There's again some arrangements that the property will end up with Binta.
Mm.
You notice what has happened there. Now,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
conflict of interest between Ba and Binta and how
Mm.
they've been working on selling properties, transferring properties. Then if Ba end up marrying Binta,
Mm.
becoming a wife,
Yeah.
now if Ba said that no money went to his account, yes, but it went through your wife's account.
Mm.
And I can tell you that Binta is living in America now. I don't know which
Mm.
state in America.
Mm. Mm.
But people can tell, there's evidence, and the investigators knows this as well.
Mm.
They got it from their intelligence, from me,
Yeah.
because the reason I'm not saying how they got it, because if I do something for this thing, I keep it that way.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the amount of money Binta have transferred through Western
Mm.
Union and other firms,
Mm.
the investigators are aware, committee investigators.
Mm.
Now, how can Binta not have been caught?
Yeah.
I know he
That's
deliberately stayed as Hadi Gambia,
yeah.
but whatever the case, they should have subpoenaed Binta either to come or not, and to be captured in records that he refused to come, and for Binta to be mentioned as the
Mm.
wife
Yeah.
of Bartamid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not watched as diligently as you have watched the commission.
Mm-hmm.
But or if anyone in the comment section can tell us, whether live now or after,
Mm.
have Bartamid ever been addressed, or have addressed his relationship with Binta, and how Binta came into his company, Moab, getting all this access to our properties?
I would tell you something that I knew about that. And it was an interesting exchange. And that day, in fact, again, the chairman intervened, and I think Jato was not very happy. That was, if you remember, there was this thing on social media where people were saying the class of the Jato and Ba. You know, in Mandinka, Jato mean lion, and then Ba mean like sheep in Mandinka. And that's
I think Ba means good.
where Ba means good, yeah. So basically, Honorable Jame was getting into that. And I think, in fact, it was such a and Ba was even rude with his response to Honorable Jame. And I remember I was watching this particular episode. I commented that the chairman needs to intervene, and he needs to get back to withdraw that word he used and apologize. Not apologize to Honorable Jame, but to give respect to the authority of the National Assembly, because that was a National Assembly session. And in all respect, the chairman took that up later and Bar was meant to withdraw because it was around Jammeh didn't ask the direct question linking him to the wife, but it was along those lines the conflict of interest towards like someone close to you was very involved and that you are already conflicted and stuff like that. In fact, maybe I will remember the word that Bar used towards Jammeh, which was a very
Jata or Jammeh?
Jata, sorry,
Yeah.
Omar Jata, Jammeh. It was very condescending, and I was following, and I was very upset. I said, "That's not a parliamentary language because even here in the UK, like our parliament is very um, similar to how what things happen. If you say certain words, the speaker or whoever is the chair of that committee would step up and say, "Nope, that's not a language that Bas." Okay, when Jato asked a question around it was to do with the wife, and this is something along the line that he said he do not give a shit, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a language.
Let me come there. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know why Bath threatened to sue? Because when I first wrote my article, and I don't like talking about private relationships.
Yeah.
But when private relationships become a conflict of interest,
that's true, and it's a national interest as well. Yeah.
And what I did, in fact, I knew that they were in a relationship, but I said what I even used. I was kind of a bit gentle to say that they have a close relationship. I did not say the girlfriend then. Bar knew that that's the biggest crime he have committed. That conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And this is the same reason why he run away from parliament, from cabinet, because Barrow was mad. That when Barrow found out, in fact, that these people were dating, and they scammed him from the shares they meant to have, he went mad.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you raise the issue, he will be touchy. That's why I'm not surprised he was touchy when the MP tried to get into that. But it is a crucial part of the investigation that should have been exploited.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why they avoided her to come onto this thing, to the commission.
And to be quite honest, it looks like you watched that particular segment because from the lines that I heard, you could sense there was a pre-arrangement that was a private matter.
Yeah.
Because when the chairman intervened at that time, or both of them kind of concluded this is a bit of it's like a private matter. But like you said,
shouldn't be. It's a conflict of interest.
It's here we're talking about a former justice minister.
Yeah.
Who at the time of when the commission was set up, all these processes and everything was entrusted on him. He was the chief legal advisor to the president. And all of a sudden, he started dating someone, and that someone was then appointed through or brought in someone who was appointed through her connection, and that individual ended up receiving $100 million of commission. And obviously, we all knows that part of commission would go to his wife, and then they end up getting married. And obviously, questions should have been asked. There is, I've seen a lot of times where they were trying to pin Miss Bensouda around conflict of interest. But the biggest conflict of interest in this whole Janet Commission setup was Bar initially dating that lady, and later on marrying the lady, where financial transaction has transferred.
He benefited,
and the wife has benefited. And for me, I would say that if they have forced the likes of Aliou Jallo, who was the registered general, because he was involved with the sales of cattle, which was even minor. Because if you remember, how much million did the sales of cattle generated? Yes, it's cattle. It's money. It's our money. But if you look at the properties and the other big sales, like your sales in other businesses that Jammeh had, those were more significantly
outweighed
than the cattle's. So for me, if they had subpoenaed that guy to provide his bank statement at that time, and did it to now to a guy who is a justice at the courts, high courts, Justice Tabali, obviously then you set the precedence. Someone like her should have come and testified, and they should have even for me, even Alpha Capital himself
Yeah. I
should
think
have.
did Alpha was asked to produce it. Did he produce his bank accounts?
I've not witnessed that, but I know that anything that they ask for from witnesses, it's been provided.
Okay.
But the same way they ask for Alpha Capital, the same way they ask for the other person, is the same way they should have asked this lady to come and testify. And there is no excuse because there was one lady that was secretary
Yeah.
to the Joint Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and few other, even Marena, Cherno Marena, who was
Yeah. Permanent secretary.
the yeah,
Solicitor
at the
General. Yeah.
time, yes, Solicitor General, they all testified video. So
Yeah.
obviously, what this committee should have done was to make Mr. Mbedu to come and testify in person. If she cannot, they give her the option of let's do it through video because it's good for them also to hear from her to set the record
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
And also any other form of documents that was needed for them to be able to enable them to do their job
Yeah.
properly. So for me, that is a big misstep of not calling that lady to come and testify and getting crucial information like her bank statements and stuff like that. Because again, then it then pinpoints to exactly what you said. If the setup was wrong from the beginning, everything that follows, it's like when you're building a house
The
and this
foundation.
foundation to the house is compromised, is not strong, that house is not going to last the test of time. Anything you put on that house would crumble.
Crumble, yeah.
And, we could talk about here the procedures and all that, but even there is big question marks around the chairman's qualification of the Joint Commission himself. That whether he was qualified enough, because apparently from what I understand, it should have been a practicing judge of the High Court or something like that. But I don't
No,
think.
I think that bit is open to interpretation. He
Okay.
would have qualified.
Okay.
Just like when you say that you have to have a bachelor's or equivalent.
Yeah.
You see,
Okay.
for his time of service on the bench, he is qualified to be a Supreme Court judge.
Okay. All right.
And again, there are other ways. I think those things are captured. There's no problems there. But the main details are most important. There was no political will to do the right thing.
Yeah. And
Because,
just, Brother Ben, I would ask you this question, and I'm sure I would not make this program justice.
Yeah.
That if I have you here for like almost 2 hours and I don't ask this question, I know you personally, you are a very good brother. We interact privately and all that. You are a source of credible information to many things that are happening. A lot of people that I know, when I speak to them in the Gambia or here, when I say I know Ben, they're like, yeah, he's a honest guy, he's a straight guy. Is there any other evidence, particularly to do with the Joint Commission, in terms of assets, or even during this time when this special select committee was sitting, that you knew about, or other people come to you about, and then you point them towards the committee, and you felt like you have not heard of it, or you have not seen it, or you want to share those kind of evidence? Because one thing I know is all those 7 committee members, they will be watching this program.
Yeah.
That's for a fact. And this is why I choose for us to have it here. Because it's not for me, it's not for you. It's for them and for the Gambian people.
Yeah.
But again, we are stakeholders in this because regardless of you sitting in the UK here, we are Gambians. We are concerned of what happens in our country. So I just wanted to ask, is there any evidence or any other witness that you thought this commission should have dealt with and they haven't dealt with before we come to the conclusion?
Thank you very much. I can tell you for certain, without revealing my sources, my contacts. You see, let me emphasize this. Let me just think about exercises. The love for country we have. And to say that the entire system, the system is broken, not that entire people within the system are bad people.
Yeah.
I can tell you for national interest, I have access to the most senior people within the SIS. And I criticize Barrow and everything else. But if it comes to state matters, I don't compromise with our national security.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Even cabinet, many ministers I criticize,
Mm-hmm.
many of them have respect for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I know they listen to what I say, whether
Mm-hmm.
they act on it or not. But I can tell you, I have received lots of confirmed
Mm-hmm.
that, in fact, at times they turn out to say that for me bringing that up did help them,
Yeah.
because of they would, what they would do is they would go to Barrow and say, look, this is already out in the internet.
Yeah.
If we do it, people like Ben
Mm-hmm.
have already talked about it. They might have influence on this. I think it's best to us to leave it there or to try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it comes to any stakeholder for that matter, police officers,
Mm-hmm.
I give them respect. They give me respect.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes to the military, we have dealt with a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
that we have not shared online.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the reason we didn't share them is because of the nature of the information.
Yeah.
They are to be treated with sensitivity, and they are about the sort of security, our national interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said there are good people within the system,
Yeah.
but the system is completely corrupt.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for this committee
Mm-hmm.
that, especially on the information
Mm-hmm.
around Batambe, Dubinta,
Mm-hmm.
and Alpha Bari, and the processes that they went through, the problems with properties and so on. And I don't want to say something, it might not be looking nice on certain people.
Yeah.
That information they got from me.
Yeah.
Because I was the force when people doubted. People were celebrating Bartambedu, I came after him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew I got the
Mm-hmm.
information, and that information was collaborated.
Yeah.
And everything came out in the Malijan, came out in the
Mm-hmm.
Republic, and we
Yeah.
are hearing some, some in the committee.
Mm-hmm.
They have every information they need.
Yeah.
But that's why I said a system is compromised.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot have the facts from them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no facts that will be deliberated by this Barrow government, because Barrow is complicit in everything that goes wrong in that country.
Yeah.
Either directly or indirectly, because people close to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of these people are the same people that sponsor his political party.
Mm-hmm.
And one way or the other do bribe Barrow or give them kickbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said we know, matter of fact, that everything from the beginning to the end was not done right. As you stated that the foundations were all messed up. I mean, it was not competent for anyone to build a house on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't have covered all that.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, all I have to emphasize, I have called up all the witnesses I know of that needed
Yeah.
to be called and not called.
Mm-hmm.
But to generalize, say that any person that have sold or have responsibility that have been named should have been called.
Yeah.
Any person that have bought and be listed, they should have been called up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the ministerial select committee
Yeah.
that have overseen some
Yeah.
properties that have not featured,
Yeah.
in the General Commission.
Yeah.
And especially the Director General of the tourism, this thing should have been called up. Again, an investigation should be held. Special investigation should be held for the land in the TDA.
Yeah.
You will remember that the issue about SFR and others, everything came out from the TDA.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's a special interest that the TDA land allocation should be investigated.
Yeah.
And I can tell you one of the one evidence again that I have not heard of. There was a Gambian that worked for one of the international communities that built a house around Kersering or those areas. Very beautiful house, fit for purpose, swimming pool and everything. And that person, Yaya Jame was, he does those things, going around looking for good properties.
Yeah.
He saw that
Yeah.
property and wanted the property, and went and find out who the owner was.
Yeah.
Yaya Jame tasked, what's his name again? Amadou Samba. to locate the owner and buy the old property from the owner. I used the word to buy. It was not
Yeah.
to check, not to check whether the person would sell or not, because
Yeah. It's like,
he
yeah,
would have
I'll
it.
buy it or I
It
will
was matter
take it.
of
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When the Amadou Samar detected the caretaker, the person responsible for the property,
Yeah.
that guy sent a message to the owner, and this owner said, "No, I'm not selling." Guess what they did?
Yeah.
The NIA arrested the caretaker, and he was tortured to the
Wow.
point that the owner has to feel sorry for the
For the cat.
caretaker
Oh
in
no.
order to agree to a sale.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
not, is that not a forced purchase?
Yeah.
Not only that, Yaya Jammeh had to determine the price. Is that not a forced purchase?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
You
the
don't even know
evidence,
how. Yeah.
yeah, the evidence I'm relying on is the testimony from what happened to this guy at the House of
TRS. TRRC.
at the NIA.
Okay.
Secondly, the owner has produced evidence
Yeah.
to show the appraisal for the property that it was far more than what the IJM have paid for it.
Yeah.
The owner has produced part
Yeah.
of the appraisal done by a bank
Yeah.
that gives part of the loan that built that property.
Wow.
Bakary, it's not enough to make sure
Yeah.
this person, if he's giving back his land and he give back the money, IJM paid for it.
You know,
Do
just
you
for
know that they denied to
yeah.
do that for him?
Oh wow.
Then why Binta Sise?
Yeah.
Who's those property that Sompo Sise had willfully? Because they are the one that approached Yaya Jammeh. I didn't want to say the circumstances because of family matters. They approached Yaya Jammeh to buy the properties, and they were happy with the sales. Yaya did not approach them to buy the property. It was not a forced sale, but they allowed that property to be given back to Binta Sise's interest. At a low market price that the IJM have paid for it. And do you know that property, up till I know, is still not returned to the rightful owner?
Wow.
Because of being a minister wanted to steal the land. That is Minister, former Lands Minister Drame.
Musa Drame.
Now, because now the owner is holding onto it, they cannot take it. It was given to the police intelligence unit. This is to show you how much injustice has happened.
Oh no, that's sad.
That's why I want to emphasize.
Yeah.
The properties that went through the Jani commissions are there. But there are properties that went through the ministerial committee that needed to be investigated. But there are properties even not declared to the ministerial committee. And I will emphasize again, do you know there are still properties in the name of them still within the Gambia that have not been entered?
Yeah, because I think someone asked a question. I don't know whether it was at the parliament or was at this committee. You know, like there was a big list of Jame properties or lands, even in the provinces.
Yeah.
And there was this question asked, what is the government doing about those? Because, you know, they has not been forfeited to anybody because, you know, like even in the provinces, you have him on hills there, massive lands and all that stuff. So people don't know what's going on. And just to emphasize the point that you said about that guy that was coerced to sell his property to Jame at that price, I am a living witness to one story. And this was this guy that used to be the governor of Central Bank, something Bio, if my memory serves me right. Yeah. So he had a land somewhere around Kersering, just around where the QTV is now, where so the opposite neighbors were some people I know. So basically this guy, he was building a story building. So what he did was, on top of the story building, he never completed it. But if you go to the house, it was like the ground floor and it was a basement. But if you've seen how the basement and the ground floor was done, it was so expensive. You question why the guy hasn't touched the top bit.
Yeah.
And it came up in a conversation and someone said, léegi nit yi dañ dee ragal pour sampa kër bu nice parce que Jammeh su ko gisee like ko daf koy jënd wala nangu ko by force. And that just kind of strike now to that guy was concealing so much that he was building going down because he didn't want anybody seeing it going up.
Yeah.
So that and this was happening.
No, this is quite right. I know
Yeah.
I know people who did that.
Yeah.
They would take their part. And you know the problem
Yeah.
he took. That's where
Yeah.
he put the second wife. When he had second wife, that's where the second wife was living.
Wow.
Emma, you see, that's why I said that we will not find the conclusions of this with a better government. I am talking about you are talking about the land or hills you're talking about in the provinces.
Yeah.
Do you know one of it is likely there's a kind of around Basay. There's a land that has some minerals.
Yeah.
That's what Jammeh took that.
Oh.
And if you look at the area in Basay, the topography and the weather and everything, it's possible.
Yeah.
Because we have seen some emirates coming out from the ground, all those Johnny commissions went there.
Yeah.
You know? And now I had this government is working behind the scenes, secretly trying to hand over some of those prospects to a Turkish company.
Oh no.
But I am saying another thing. I am saying that Jammeh still have properties that are paying rent and Jammeh is collecting them. Or someone is collecting on behalf of Jammeh in the Gambia. Bakary Tombong said that in a meeting in Banjul.
Yeah.
They said these things, and somebody else has said that before. Remember, it was Fatou Jahumpasisi that said that Mama Singate, mother was in charge of collecting the rents of some of the properties of Jammeh. You remember that?
Yeah.
All these allegations are around. That then shows you the incompetency of this government or the deliberate work of this government not to recover the assets that belong to us. And let us not forget the proceedings of the Janneh Commission mainly is on stuff that we can find in the Gambia.
Yeah.
And there are properties that link to loans from money taken from central bank or from NAWEC or some other entities, Social Security and other entities. If Gambia have investigated as other countries do the assets of Gambia outside of Gambia, they might go into the billions. Do you know why?
Yeah, I agree.
You know the Panama accounts is just almost $1 billion. Which was in Amadou Samba's name.
Yeah.
And Amadou Samba has confessed that he was Jammeh's business manager.
Yeah.
Now, do you just imagine Mobutu Sese Seko, some of his properties and gold and stuff like that were stored in the Gambia under Jammeh.
Yeah.
You know, the issue they're talking about, the coup d'etat when they attacked the central bank, it's a lie. It was not, the attack was not the central bank, it was the building behind the central bank, part of the MRC.
Yes, so, because in fact you can enter through that building to go to the back of central bank.
Yes, those storages had stuff that came from Mobutu Sese Seko. And some of the soldiers wanted to loot that. 1, 2. The former president of Nigeria.
Abacha,
and his son Mohammed Abacha did entrust Jammeh with some of their money laundering schemes. That too Jammeh had. Yeah? You know Victor Bout, the Russian mercenary.
Yeah.
He was selling arms to Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Casamas, and other areas. And Jammeh was having this court because of Victor Bout's flights were using Gambia, and he had the business with Victor Bout. Do you know there were other sanctions, all the Gambian flags? That there was a Russian who was living in Ibiza in Spain, who was trafficking to both North Sudan and South Sudan, and Jammeh was having these courts. Do you know where Casamas mercenaries been sent to Ivory Coast to fight for Bagbo, and Jammeh was having his courts? You know the blood diamond saga in
In Sierra
Liberia
Leone,
and
yeah,
other places.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and the UN sanctions Jammeh was having this court. How
Mm.
much billion is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of money, yeah.
And we never went for that.
Mm.
Just because of, do you know why?
Mm.
Barrow make a deal in Dakar when they were there during the impasse. And make a deal with Amadou Samba Samuel Sarr, Senegalese businessman, a crook. And they make a deal and they trace one of the accounts that was in Hong Kong. And that account, with the help of the Senegalese government, they transferred that account in the name of Barrow as a sovereign things to rebuilding of the government. And some of the witnesses had a share in it. I'm not going to name.
Mm.
And we saw that person came from Dakar and bought a story building. And some people
Wow.
are saying, oh, Macky Sall gave some money to, it's not Macky Sall. That was a deal they had so that the government wouldn't go after Jammeh assets. Because if you go Jammeh assets, you mean you bring in, how to call it? Amadou Samba into it.
Masamba, yeah.
Then they insulated Amadou Samba. All these things are things to be investigated.
Do we know where that guy is right now, in fact?
He comes to Gambia. He lives in Dakar now, but he comes to Gambia.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, bro. I have to go. I'm so
Yeah,
tired now. I
yeah,
have to go.
yeah, yeah, bro. Thank you for your time. I
Thank
will
you.
just wrap up and do the final conclusions.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. It was a very educative one and a healthy one.
Thank you.
Denga buga magene la oh.
Well, again, well, someone again, please.
Wow, okay, all right, cool. And right, just to say massive thank you to Brother Ben. He is someone that is a library of knowledge when it comes to Gambian issue. Just to wrap up, right, the discussion was around the Parliamentary Special Select Committee that have wrapped up their work, I think, sometime this week. The live testimonies of witnesses has finished. So Legi, they have to go, I believe, on a retreat to them put in some reports and evidence and findings and just come back and present it to the National Assembly by the 15th of December. So Lolan Fidon Watane, I believe some of these things that we've said here would help them because at the end of the day, Gambians are interested. The reason why we had the special select committee is because there were some issues with the Jana Commission, particularly Nunjende one and Nunjaiwi Yena Bagasi. This led to people like Mama the Quran speaking about it so often, especially since he had that issue and he was sacked from the Janneh Commission, which, by the way, I don't agree to date. He was fairly dismissed. It was an unfair dismissal. Then the likes of the Republican newspaper with the investigative journalist Mustafa K. Dabo, who published a report which led to the people like Gala demanding that the government need to publish that list. Te wax ñu ñaata lañ am si lii, and then also for the president to address the nation and to set up a commission, which was all done. Then a motion was tabled at the National Assembly by the majority member, who is, I believe, Bilali K. Tunkara, Sumagile name and be right, to set up this parliamentary setup special committee. Now, personally, I know most of the committee members. Um, there is areas which they did very well, but I believe there is areas also that they could have do a bit more. Everybody, King Hamne said on the live testimonies, they will tell you one thing, and I've said this in a post before. I think the two young lead counsels, lawyer Diba Ajika and even Tony Mendy, they did very well compared to their experience and all that stuff. And also, the clerk for setting all this up, but we don't know who the investigators are, so the Muna comments in you. But there was a lot of noise, in fact, why there was no female National Assembly member in that committee. And also, the committee chair at the time, people believe at least they would have someone who is from the opposition or an independent member, but obviously the National Assembly voted for Honorable Abdullah Sise, who, to be quite honest, I happen to start to get to know, interact a lot. He's a genuine guy, but I think sometimes when it comes to our National Assembly, I think sometimes partisan politics takes precedence. I hope the reason we trying deaf program, we are not anticipating or we are not kind of like making any conclusion on their report, but it's just to remind them that the work they were doing is the work that the Gambian tasked them to do. We expect them to fully complete that report, and anybody who is adversely mentioned or any other issues in the hamne amnafa ñu leeral ko indi ko si lii bi. But I believe comme man ak Ben luñ fi doon waxtaan, there are key witnesses yoo xam ne I don't personally understand why those key witnesses were not called to testify. And there are certain evidence yoo xam ne tamit credible and tangible evidence yoo xam ne tamit we believe they should have followed. Then leen njëkkoon a jox I believe 120 days, which is 3 months, no, 4 months. But after all, ñu extend leen ko yooyu noonu. So there has been a lot of time spent on process and procedures and how people were employed and all that. But I think towards the latter part, they don't rush a lot to conclude on time. And maybe there were certain things you have they should have started with it at the beginning that they didn't start it with, and Hegna Lulu that would hamper a bit on their work. But we are telling them we're still gonna sit down and watch what the report would be, what would be out there. And again, we are not second guessing or we are not making conclusion of what the report would be like. But if we are not happy or if we are happy, we'll come back again here and do another program about it. So lolo mo nekon program be watan bitay. We just want to say thank you to all those people who has been following, watching, and commenting. We appreciate you guys. This is about our country. You might not agree with everything that we say here, but we are not saying that we are always right, but we always try to be factual. We looked upon things. I've seen some few comments here, and I am someone being a hamne. I always give people respect. Don't guess my saga the but what I just don't like is don't come to my post or my wall to attack other people. If you want to do that, please do it on your post or on your wall. There is a brother that I've seen his comments here. How am I correct? But after this program, just to let you know, I will block you because this is my page. This is my wall. I'm not your hamne man. I will not do it or say it on my wall or on my page, and that do not give people right to say it or do it on my wall. So just I like keeping things civil. I like keeping things respectful. But people are free to agree and disagree. I don't have any issues people putting their points or disagreeing or saying like linga wa digger or it's not factual. Put your point, but going personal and attacking people and insulting people is not something Linga have the man I would ever do that. And anybody that does it on my wall, I would block you. I've blocked 2, 3 brothers in the last few months. You have ne talk na si table ma talk fi am ak ñoom añ just because of how they acted on social media, particularly towards me, which was disrespectful, or towards another individual. Hence why, yes, I have their number, we interact, but when it comes to Facebook, we will not interact anymore. So to that person, you know yourself, you would definitely come off my list. It's not something I wanted to do, but there are certain things that I just don't entertain on my wall. So ñu ngi jaajëfal ñit tamit di gën a ñaax that parliamentary select committee, let them go out there, bring said kanami nit or who, let them just go and do the work and they complete the work that they started. They, some most of them are young. Nikki, if you do the right thing, it would always follow you. If you compromise your integrity or if you kind of like compromise on certain issues, your hamne, where your reputation or your character would be damaged or dented, it's something very difficult to recover. And some of them, I would say they're even younger brothers. I'm older than them, so I'm advising them. So do the right thing. Just I would end with a famous quote that I really love, which is from the late Vice President Uncle Ali Badara Juf. May Allah guarantee Janatul Firdausi, where he says it's always right to do the right thing, but it's always right to do the right thing for the first time. So thank you all. ñu ngi leen a jaajëfal ñeen ñëpp. Salaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi taala wa barakaatu.